Good evening, everybody. This is Omar Serrano with the Tilted Lawyer Podcast, and we have a lot to talk about today. Today's show is going to be a little bit different. There's not much in the way of legal commentary, I guess. I mean, there is. I was on Lauren 90's show for a spell earlier, and I was talking about the way that lawyers are viewing this lawsuit and the way that the media is viewing this lawsuit. And my thoughts are that I feel like it's pretty well obvious that this is not a lawsuit about sexual harassment. This is not a lawsuit about a victim of harassment. This is not a lawsuit about a sexual predator. I think if you read about this case in 20 years and 30 years in law school textbooks and in some wayward law school somewhere, I think what you're going to find is that what defined this case was how it affected public relations, PR strategies, and the ability of an entire PR team to plant negative stories maliciously, even if true, for the purpose of canceling certain folks from the industry. I feel like that's what this lawsuit's legacy is going to be. What it's not going to be is a narrative on how to litigate a sexual harassment case, unless something changes drastically with the evidence, which I have yet to see. Now, look, jury's still out. I get it. We're doing discovery, and they've promised that there's going to be evidence of other complaints, and there's going to be evidence of other things that have been promised, right? So I guess we'll wait and see. But if in the event that doesn't come out, then what we have and what we're left with is likely a motion for summary judgment at some point to whittle the lawsuits down, to exclude harassment claims for failure to state a claim or present any evidence that would have supported those claims, dismissing those causes of actions, leaving only the breach of contract stuff, only the defamation stuff, and so forth. But, you know, I am your mic's not Mike Inch. What the hell does that mean? What does this mean? Your mic's not Mike Inch. I don't get it. Oh, I have toilet mic. Well, let me see if I can do something about my toilet mic. Last time what I did was this. I went here and then oh yeah, it's I see the problem, I think. Give me 1 second while I correct this. I think what I got to do is this. Pause for a second, folks. Here's what we're going to do. Turn off. And turn it back on. Oh, shit. All right, folks, is that any better? Did that fix it? How's it sounding now? Is the mic good now? Could I get a mic check? Well, that didn't fix it. Okay, then let's do this one. If I go to here. Oh, this is good. How about that? That work? User run. Okay, so that, yes. All right, I've done something. What's up, Bruce? How you been, man? It's good to see you. Hey, let me know if you need a link. If you need a link, otherwise, I'm going to be pontificating about where I think this lawsuit is going. So look, the LA Times, they put out an article that Lauren Knighty had covered, that Dave Nails covered, that a bunch of other people have covered. There's some people that are up in arms about it. I thought that the article attempted to be this fair and balanced thing that tried to look at Justin Baldoni objectively. But what I think ultimately what it did was it looked at him from the narrative of a wayward, want-to-be do-gooder who went astray because of many complications in his life that led him into this tussle that he's having with Blake Lively, which I think is an incorrect assessment. When I look at this case, I don't look at this as a sexual predator case at all. I don't look at this as a case that has really much or anything to do with sexual harassment. When I look at this case, this is a lawsuit that is going to define how PR teams navigate the waters of Hollywood for the next 30, 40, 50 years to come. How do we deal with this issue of when a PR team is allowed to spawn non-organically a tidal wave of negativity towards any one person to insinuate a narrative that may or may not be true, to exist on the fringes of defamation without crossing the bridge, to do so maliciously without breaking any rules? I think that this is a lawsuit where both sides are accusing each other of smear campaigns. And I think there's probably a lot of truth in those allegations on both sides. Whether or not Justin Baldoni knew anything about it or Blake Lively knew anything about it, I don't know, man. I just know that there were 100% PR teams that had designs on how to deal with certain allegations, and they were going to go about it a certain way. And the way that they went about it may have bended the truth a little bit. What am I missing? Am I missing anything over here? LMAOs at Snow. That's not going to work. Snow Wonder. I'm not sure what y'all are talking about over there. Reg Angel says, I wasn't going to listen tonight, but this will for sure put me to sleep with that smooth jazz. This is 93.3 FM radio on the Tilted Lawyer podcast. Shit. I'm totally kidding. Listen, so this is the article in question, and we're going to go through it. I have a lot of thoughts. I feel like I'm uniquely positioned to speak about this case. And the reason I say that is because I've spent the last 11 years of my career defending against and prosecuting claims of sexual harassment, claims of sexual assault, claims of violent sexual assault, claims of domestic violence, any kinds of crimes against children, crimes against women. I've both prosecuted and defended in the family law arena and in the criminal arena. And when I went to law school, I had this idea that, I'm not so sure about wanting to be a defense attorney or wanting to be a criminal defense attorney, because I would never want to be put in a position of defending a person who was accused of violent sexual crimes, sexual harassment, what have you, domestic violence, whatever. Because, I had very strong opinions about it. I was very naive in my thoughts that, victims 99% of the time are telling the truth. It turns out, I got to say, if you wanted me to give you a percentage, I have seen a handful of genuine cases of domestic violence in my life come into my office. Sadly, the genuine cases of domestic violence never make it inside of my office. Sadly, the genuine cases of domestic violence are not often prosecuted. Why? Because, there's a million different reasons. But some of the reasons gave rise to this movement, the Me Too movement, where we should believe women when they say that things have happened. And so around 2013, 2014 or so, began this movement where women were given a tremendous benefit of the doubt whenever they alleged crimes against them, and rightfully so. It should always be the case that whenever you listen to somebody's allegations, you assume that they're true. It's like, okay, not to jump to any conclusions, but before we have more evidence, it's perfectly reasonable in the interest of safety, we're just going to assume that these are true. Arrest who you got to arrest, restrain who you got to restrain. Let's make sure everybody's safe, and we will deal with the evidence in due time. But wouldn't you know it that one of the easiest ways to gain the upper hand in a child custody dispute is to accuse your partner of domestic violence? And once some individuals know that that's the case, all they got to do is provoke and videotape, document the injuries, and you'll get his ass out of the house within 48 hours. The sheriff will come and they will arrest him and he will be gone. And you will be there with the kids. And then there is a special rule in California. It's Family Code Section 3044 that says, if you have been convicted or found to have committed acts of domestic violence against the mother of your child or father of your child, then there is a presumption that you can never have custody of your child. And if you were to have visitation of the child, it shall be supervised until you overcome this presumption. And there's only a couple of ways that you can do it. One of them is taking anger management classes, taking domestic violence classes, and so on and so forth. Not committing further acts of domestic violence, not violating the restraining order. It puts people in a position, guilty or not, that they are never going to see their children. It is a tremendous tool to weaponize. It is a tremendous tool to protect, but in the wrong hands, with the wrong intentions, it is a tremendous tool to destroy fathers and mothers. I can't tell you how many women have been victimized by false accusations that, Your Honor, I don't know, I was defending myself, she struck me. She threw her cell phone at me, and then they'll have like a scratch on their face. Gabby Petito is a perfect example of that. You have this young lady, there is a 911 call to the police reporting that they've seen a male slapping a female in the car as they were driving by. The police are en route. They pull over the vehicle. They find the vehicle in question. They go and question the individuals. The boyfriend, Brian Laundrie, puts on his cool face and says, "Look, officer, I'm really sorry. Things just kind of got out of hand. She was really upset. She couldn't calm down. She kept on hitting me. I didn't know what to do. I was driving. I was trying to push her away because I didn't want to run under the curb, and I apologized for running into the curb." And they said, okay. And then they talked to Gabby, and in her scramble to find the words, the best that she could really muster was, we just had a difficult morning. We were arguing. I was angry. I was upset. He kept on telling me to calm down. She couldn't get the full story out. It got to the point where you had like 3 or 4 or 5, I don't know how many officers it was. They all came to the conclusion that Gabby Petito was the aggressor. If they were going to arrest anybody, it was going to be Gabby. And Utah law dictated that they should have arrested Gabby along with Brian to figure out what was really going on. They didn't do that. They gave Brian Laundrie the benefit of the doubt. They gave Gabby Petito a stern warning to kind of chill out a little bit. I think one of the officers literally told her to go home and take a shower. That's what I tell my wife when she's upset, go take a shower. And a couple of days later, she was gone. She was she had passed away at the hands of Brian Laundrie. Why do I even bring that story up? Because there's a reason why the Me Too movement exists. And it exists because people have been weaponizing false claims of domestic violence for hundreds of years, thousands of years. What's the quickest way to put somebody away? Just make a false allegation of sexual abuse against them. Back in the 50s, they used to, what was the best way to get rid of somebody of color? I'll just say that they harassed a white woman. Emmett Till. There's a rich history of this weaponization of these allegations. And we have here Blake Lively. She literally called this man in pleadings basically a sexual predator. He is a man who preys on women. Now, she didn't do it very artfully. The amended complaint comes out, and then they lead with Justin Baldoni is this, and they go run down like 28 like really great things that he's done to champion women's rights. And they build him up, and they say that a man like this, and at the penultimate hour for Blake Lively, is trying to silence her. Silence what? Now, you look at the timeline that was generated by Friedman and Baldoni's attorneys, and they paint a lot of context to the behavior that was on set. That seems to paint a picture that Blake Lively was being a little dramatic in her characterization of Baldoni's behavior. It got to the point where the producer, Heath, shows Lively a video of post-birth with his wife in a bathtub or whatever. She declares that it was porn. She declares Justin Baldoni disclosing very personal things to her after they had struck up a friendship over the course of many months and developed a way to talk and communicate with each other, developing a certain comfort level, decided to all of a sudden just cut it off. Like, you know what? Don't ever talk to me about your past sexual experiences. Just don't ever talk to me about it. You know what? Don't. If it's not about work, don't even talk to me, okay? I don't want to hear it. If you were talking to Blake Lively, it seems, based on the timeline from Baldoni's perspective, you were harassing her. That would have been the equivalent of harassing behavior. She took a lot of liberties in the adjectives she used to describe the harassment on set with respect to the kissing scene. That was where he took liberties in the ways that were, there was supposed to be an intimacy coordinator, but she never signed off on the intimacy coordinator, but they provided one anyway. And then her on her own accord waves it off. They had carefully choreographed a scene. He bites her lip a little bit too hard than they had anticipated, and all of a sudden he's a sexual predator. Ryan Reynolds is checking for him, telling her, don't you dare ever ask my wife about how much she weighs. And then there's another meeting with the entire set where she tries to air 27 separate grievances or demands about how conduct is going to change on the set, or I'm going to quit. I saw a lot of things in the pleadings. Factually, what I didn't see was any instances of sexual harassment to make the insinuation that Justin Baldoni was or is a sexual predator. Now, what pisses me off is you got this article. It's at first glance, it purports to be a very fair and balanced article into some of the lesser known facts about Justin Baldoni. And keep in mind, I have no idea about who this guy was, and a lot of people I feel like didn't. But in films are not at the center of popular culture the way that they used to be in the 90s, 80s and 90s, even the 2000s. We're in a different avenue when it comes to Hollywood and big time movies. But they write this article and they go into his past and they write it as if he's a sexual predator or what happened, the fall of Justin Baldoni. If I were to write a title for it, it would be labeled something similar to that. I'm going to share this on screen with you and we're going to go through it together. You guys can tell me if I'm full of shit or not. But on my read, that's kind of what I gathered. And here we go. This is the article. I paid a whole $1 to get behind the paywall to read this article, but here it is. In 2020, Travis Flores became one of only a handful of people in the world ever to receive a third double lung transplant. Brilliant start. Whoever wrote this is an excellent writer, by the way. Diagnosed as a baby with cystic fibrosis, a genetic disorder that causes mucus to build up in the lungs and other organs, Flores had defied doctors' predictions that he wouldn't live past age 5. At 29, he underwent a rare procedure in hopes of further extending his life. But as Flores recovered, his thoughts were consumed by another looming battle, this one with actor and filmmaker Justin Baldoni. And right away, we're like, what the fuck? Baldoni, best known at the time as an actor on the CW's Jane the Virgin, had made his directorial debut in 2019 with 5 Feet Apart, the story of 2 cystic fibrosis patients who fall in love. Baldoni said the film was inspired by a different CF activist, cystic fibrosis activist, to whom it was dedicated. But Flores maintained that it bore striking similarities to a screenplay he had written years earlier, 3 Feet Distance. After his third transplant, Travis said, "The stress of this is killing me." Teresa Flores, his mother, recalled in an interview with the Times, through some donations, he got enough money to hire a lawyer, and in September of 2021, Flores sued Baldoni for copyright infringement in federal court. And 7 months later, he voluntarily dismissed the lawsuit, telling his family that his legal team advised him that pursuing the case against a high-profile defendant with significant resources would be difficult. Baldoni denies any wrongdoing, was absolutely not aware of Flores' screenplay before making 5 Feet Apart. And wouldn't you know it, maybe there was a couple other occasions in the history of mankind where a couple of CF patients might have met and fallen in love. But here we are. I just tend to believe that the guy didn't have a case, but they're leading with this. A spokesperson for the filmmaker and his production company Wayfarer Studios told the Times, despite its dramatic elements, a terminally ill man alleging a director appropriated his story for a hit film, Flores' lawsuit barely made a ripple. Copyright battles are routine in Hollywood, and Baldoni wasn't yet a household name. Since 2019, he had increasingly focused on directing and producing earnest, socially conscious fare through the purpose-driven Wayfarer shingle. He had also positioned himself as a prominent male feminist ally, delivered a 2018 TED Talk, "Why I'm Done Trying to Be Man Enough," that went viral, spawning a best-selling memoir and a podcast exploring gender, vulnerability, and privilege. Last year's romantic drama, It Ends With Us, was supposed to be the culmination of Baldoni's transformation into a multi-hyphenate force. The adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel found him directing and starring opposite Blake Lively, a far bigger Hollywood name. Friends with Taylor Swift, who attended last year's Super Bowl with her, and married a Marvel star, Ryan Reynolds, Lively has been famous since Gossip Girl, a defining teen drama of the 2000s. But despite grossing over $350 million worldwide after its August release, the success of It Ends With Us has been overshadowed by a bitter escalating feud between its 2 stars. On December 20th, Lively filed a complaint with the California Civil Rights Department accusing Baldoni of sexual harassment and misconduct during the film's production. According to the complaint, which was followed days later by a lawsuit in federal court, he allegedly pressured her to perform greater nudity than agreed upon, improvised intimate scenes, and retaliated with a smear campaign after she raised concerns. Now, they say that allegedly pressured her to perform greater nudity than agreed upon. I didn't find that to be inherent within the facts of the pleadings. So they're basically listing Lively's allegations without issuing Baldoni's retort, which I guess if you preface the allegations with alleged, maybe they're good, huh? Baldoni denies the claims,
files a $250 million defamation suit against Lively and the New York Times, which published her allegations. Weeks later, he followed with $400 million countersuits against Lively, Reynolds, and her publicist, Leslie Sloan, accusing them of conspiring to destroy his reputation and wrest control of the film from him. Baldoni's countersuit alleges that Lively and her team engaged in a coordinated effort to undermine him, including making false allegations of misconduct, spreading defamatory statements to the press, and using their influence to pressure the studio to try to remove him from the film. The scandal has since become a full-blown media spectacle with competing court filings and publicly surfaced messages fueling an ongoing firestorm. Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, who has represented Megyn Kelly, Bethany Frankel, Tucker Carlson, and Don Lemon, has portrayed him as an underdog, arguing that Hollywood power players are attempting to make him, according to his countersuit, the real-life villain in Lively's story. Many who have worked with the 41-year-old Baldoni praise him as an inspiring and generous leader. He is highly creative and in tune with his spiritual side, said Melissa Ames, who worked as his personal and executive assistant, and credits him with giving her career opportunities she had long dreamed of. He has a heart for helping others. Working at Wayfarer was one of the best times of his life. And here's where I have problems with the article. Yet some former colleagues in more than a dozen interviews with the Times and a previously unreported 2020 lawsuit against Baldoni and Wayfarer Studios paint a more complicated picture. Several describe a pattern of performative virtue and power plays, in their view, conflicted with the ideals Baldoni professes to uphold. They keep talking about the Baldoni-Lively battle as David and Goliath, but that's just not my experience, said one former collaborator, whom, like numerous others interviewed by the Times, declined to be named out of fear of being drawn into litigation. Justin has a lot of power and a lot of money, and he's not afraid to use them to get his way. We need allies, but we need allies whose personal and business dealings align with who they say they are. So right now, they are attacking his reputation as this guy who has built a career over championing women's rights. I had heard it mentioned prior to getting involved with this lawsuit, covering it on this channel, that, you know what, Justin Baldoni is just a little bit too squeaky clean to be trusted. There was even an occasion where it's like, yeah, I mean, Justin Baldoni, who is he? He's this guy. He is an enemy of toxic masculinity. He is lifting up victims of domestic violence. He is saying we got to listen to women more. He gives a TED Talk in 2018 about women's rights and things like that. He's cultivated this image over the course of over a decade. He's been around for a long time. He speaks openly about his evolution as a man, about how he had a rough upbringing, about the way that he was bullied when he was younger, about his porn addiction and the reasons why he had a porn addiction and how he was able to overcome it. Just very open and honest about everything in his life, really, just an open book. He is happens to be a part of this Baha'i religion that he actively practices along with a couple of other people. And people are skeptical of that. There's just not enough dirt on that guy. He's way too clean not to be dirty, I think would have been the line that Saul from Better Call Saul would have used. And so the criticisms that I see here inherent in this article, they make reference to performative virtue signaling. I think performative virtue. Performative virtue. In other words, he's acting the part. And then this quote, they keep talking about David and Goliath. Oh, he's not as David as you think he is. Justin has a lot of power and money and blah, blah, blah. But they just said that he's not as big as Blake Lively. What are we talking about? They don't name the people that are saying these quotes. And I have yet to learn of a named individual that has anything bad to say about Justin Baldoni, except for Blake Lively and perhaps her PR team, I guess. So make of that what you will. What happened, Sarah? Sarah Dawn says, how does this happen every stream? What do we do? What's going on? What am I missing? What am I missing in the stream? The floaty emojis aren't working. One thing for sure, it'll be hilarious when Lauren finally gets a link. Oh, shit. Lauren needs a link? God damn it. I could have sworn Lauren already had the link. Lauren, it was the same link as last time. I guess maybe it wasn't, huh? Well, here, I'm sending it to you right now. Right now. Pardon me, folks, while I send Lauren her stuff. All right. Lauren, it is in your email. F. All right, so maybe she will be joining us. Yeah, well, I'm glad that I decided to take a break and look at the chat for a little bit at least. Well, thanks, Nick, for that. Nick from Hermosa. I love you. You suck, Omar. Totally. Lauren's always late to my show anyway, and you know. Yeah, you guys are all up really late. You see, the disadvantage that I have is that the time that I have to stream, it's either during work hours when I'm busy doing lawyer stuff, or it's around this time, which is like 9 o'clock my time, but it's like midnight for many of you. Palaver Girl says, finally, Omar, your highness. Oh, I am not your highness. I am your lowness, if anything. But I appreciate the adjective. Victim blamer, totally. Anyway, I'm going to continue with this until I hear a chime that lets me know that Lauren is in the chat. You know, I used to have a producer on the show that would let me know when stuff was going down in the chat, and now I just have to kind of like run into it organically. Sarah, you might have just fixed things, because I looked down at the chat, and yours was the comment that I read. Why does this always happen in chat? Oh, shit, what did I do?
You're such a turd, man.
So it was not the link from before that I sent you like 2 days ago?
No, dude, that didn't work. No.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah. I tried everything. I tried that link. I tried the previous link you sent me. I tried the Vlad link.
Really?
And then I finally just decided to sit here and eat a cheeseburger. I was like,
There's like one of three links. This is one of three links that I use all the time. I don't know how many of those.
You have super chats, bro. Why don't you check your super chats?
Oh, was that what you're trying to do to get my attention?
Not just me, homie.
Show us your tits.
No, that one was for free.
Oh, well, I feel like I need an intimacy coordinator if we're going to do all of that. And by the way, I might be doing that when we do our swim race.
Oh, hot.
Coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to get in real good
Where
shape.
you got 3 months to wax. So.
Oh, you get waxing done in 30 seconds, miss. Member for former Omar loves cat turds. I don't own a cat. I've never owned a cat.
But you love cat turds.
Totally. They're like, what the fuck?
You have absolutely no evidence that you don't love cat turds.
Other than my word, which is not hearsay because I am the official declarant. So.
Well, luckily people can hear your word because you don't need a link. So.
You know what they said earlier when I first started the show? They was like, hey, Omar, you got toilet mic again. It's like, oh, did I do it again? Son of a bitch.
For some reason, your computer microphone sounds like you're going to the bathroom. It sounds like you're in a bathroom echoing. Well,
I forgot to hook up my Rodecaster to my laptop was the issue, and it was taking the mic from my cell. That was what was going on. Palaver Girl with the 2 says, or send Vlad Jesus. What was that?
Omar send Lauren new link. Thanks, Esquire.
What language is this?
The YouTube super chat thing is messed up if you use it on certain apps. So it like fucks up your letters for some reason. It happened to me too. I don't know. Anyways, that was my last one. Yeah.
Oh, fine. Hey, send me a link, you buffoon. I'm gonna have to send you a super chat for like $10 as a demerit.
I sent you the same text message a couple times, and I tried to call you.
I happen to be using my cell phone as a camera right now, so that might have been the issue.
It's definitely an issue. You look like ass.
What are you gonna do, man? I blame it on my mama.
Wait, you don't have webcam or anything?
In my office, I got a full-on camera setup.
Well,
but
I know about your office. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm literally just using my cells. Like, why buy like an $800 camera when I could just use my phone and it don't look that bad? I don't know.
Well, how far along in this article did you get? Just because.
Oh, I'm at the part where there's like anonymous sources, and
anonymous
I know
sources. Yeah, but what paragraph here on the screen are you on?
David and Goliath.
Oh, yeah. So finish that, and then I told people if they came to your stream, I was going to read an email for them that I sent. So after you get through this next section, I'm gonna do that.
Where it says "man enough."
Yeah, read through that. Yeah,
totally. All right.
And then I'll read the email.
Yeah, so I'm here. So through a spokesperson, Baldoni declined to be interviewed for the story because he's in the middle of litigation, obviously, dipshit. As did Wayfarer Studios senior leadership. The spokesperson said the company has always proudly publicized its founding mission of harnessing storytelling to champion inspirational stories that act as true agents for social change. Oh, blow me. And active, I don't mean to say that, but it's just such like boilerplate.
Yes, please.
And actively strives to maintain a positive workplace environment that is rooted in this mission. That was like a cease and desist letter written by ChatGPT. Anyway, I'm done with that section, Lauren. So we're ready for your email whenever you're ready.
Good. Okay. Sorry, I had a little bit of well, let's just say I replenished my stock today. So after when I was eating that cheeseburger, I was like, God, that sounds so good, and I had a little half a gummy with that, and on an empty stomach, that's not a good idea.
That is a bold move. I cannot podcast while on gummies because I will like imagine things that I've said, and then I'll be afraid that I actually said the thing that I was thinking, and I'll just I can't, dude.
I would never do that unless it was on your podcast.
Dude, I'll go on your podcast on a gummy.
I'm sure you would. All right, anyways, let me pull this up. So I said during my stream, I set the super chat goal, and I was like, if we meet the super chat goal, I will send an email requesting an interview with Justin, even though I know they're not going to answer me. And I'm just going to be straight up like, hey, I'm not a journalist, but... So here is, and I won't tell you the title of this email until the end of it.
Okay.
It says, "Hi, Brian," because I sent this to his attorney because I'm not a creep who tries to find his email.
Oh, you sent this to Friedman?
Yeah. Who else am I going to send to? He doesn't have like an agent listed or anything. So
he might have. He may have.
No, I checked everywhere. He didn't have one.
Well, not that you're aware of.
No, exactly though. Yes, it's an email. I don't know. So I said it's Friedman because Friedman's been making the press rounds, So I said, my name is Lauren. I should preface, and there's some stuff here for privacy, guys, that I'm going to leave out, but most of it I'll read. I said, my name is Lauren. I should preface this email by saying I am not a professional journalist. I'm just a healthcare worker with a small YouTube channel, but I've been following Justin Baldoni's case. I don't even know how to make a request like this, so I'm just going to be myself.
Oh, that's so Lauren. That is so you when you used to like email me like in the very early stages of our relationship.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm not going to come out the gate calling him a turd and talking about his dad anyway. As I followed Justin's case, I have felt a great deal of sympathy for Justin's situation. I know what it's like to be someone who is struggling through a false accusation while also having suffered from abuse themselves. I really admire Justin and appreciate his work. I saw the recent LA Times article that was somewhat critical of his Baha'i faith. I said somewhat, but really it was like pretty bad. I would really love it if Justin would be willing to do a short video interview with me talking about his faith and its core principles. I think this would be a really cool way to spread some positivity that isn't related to the lawsuit at all, and just show him as someone who cares about other people and explain some of what's going on with that. I'm not going to say exactly what I said because it includes. I can't explain it to you, but okay. Anyways, no, I didn't use any words like that. I can control myself. I firmly believe he's a decent guy. I was able to talk privately with someone who worked on It Ends With Us off the record, and that really confirmed for me that he is the awesome guy that he seems to be, even if he is cringy / dad jokey sometimes, which is also great.
Yeah, that's all guys in the 40s.
Yeah. I would be more than happy to give you guys all full control over anything in the video interview should that be need to be edited. And then I gave my contact info. It was just like, please let me know if you see this among the sea of requests you're getting, and feel free to write me back or call me at this number. So yeah.
If you get an interview with Justin Baldoni, could you imagine?
Yeah, that will never happen, but yeah.
How sick that would be.
The subject line of the email reads, "A Hail Mary of epic proportions."
Well, if you send me the bat signal because you got a interview with the Wayfarer team or Baldoni or something, I'll be on the ready. I'll just be holding the bucket.
They're not going to answer me, but yeah. Oh, that's right. Chia says his agent fired him. I forgot.
Whose agent fired who?
Justin's agent. Remember he was with WME?
Oh,
and that guy
yeah,
fired.
yeah.
So I guess he doesn't have an agency right now.
By the way, I have a super chat goal because I forgot to put it. If we get 5 super chats of teal level or higher, meaning $5 or higher, I will tell a story about pee.
About pee?
Yes.
All right.
I was going to do it on Flad, but we might as well do it here because I'm not going to tell it again if I tell it once. And so this is going to be it. You'll see. You'll like it. You'll dig it. It's not a sex story. I promise.
I wasn't even thinking about that, but now I am.
You totally were.
No, I actually wasn't. I'm actually too high for that, but now I am. So thank you.
Well.
Yes.
Well, I wasn't off on the other, so.
Oh, wait. Somebody says, have you all reviewed Jed Wallace lawsuit? Did you review that, Omar? I read the whole thing. It was a little bit ago, though.
I don't think I did. I think by the time I was getting ready to review it, then the amended complaint came out, and then it was like, well, we're past that.
Well, the response to that was actually supposed to be due, I think I told you the other day, on Monday. Yeah. But today they extended it to April 4th. So
how nice of them, which is way more time than I would have thought they would have been given.
I'm not a patient person, so I don't like it.
Well, I mean, in the meantime, you got these bullshit discovery motions and stuff. Maybe we'll get a deposition here and there. Continuing with this. So this article, I'm assuming that you probably read this entire article on your stream.
Not the entire thing. I skimmed through a lot of it.
Oh, well, look at you.
Yeah, I was really bored of this kind of bullshit after a while. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to read all that.
Well, I was really angry after I read it, and I went like on a 5-minute rant, and then I left. That's all I did. I went to your stream to rant about.
Oh yeah, no, I was there. Yeah, no
bullshit, and
Well, I'm here because I'm gonna listen to you read it now. It doesn't bother me nearly as much if someone else does it, but I just don't want to put in the effort to read it myself and process it in my brain.
I understand. So I'll continue with the section that says "Man Enough."
Sick. All right, I'll be quiet.
Baldoni was born in Los Angeles, where his father Sam ran an entertainment marketing company, brokering deals to feature brands in movies and TV shows. But after a series of earthquakes and wildfires hit Southern California in the early 1990s, it's talking about Northridge, and family relocated to rural Applegate Valley, or raised in a double-wide trailer in a blue-collar conservative town, Baldoni struggled to fit in, torn between his family's Baha'i faith, which emphasizes gender equality and service to others. Hey, he was raised like that, and he holds the same values as an adult. Who knew? And the hyper-masculine culture around him. He's juxtaposing the two. And I feel like that's like with a lot of men. I was just having this conversation about how men have to reintroduce themselves to their emotions. And for me, myself, I was very hyperly masculine when I was like a teenager, growing up. I was on the wrestling team. I was on the baseball team. I was an athlete. And just like when you were a college swimmer, I'm sure that there was a whole culture to that. It's just the way that you are. And with men, it's completely the same. There's bullying. And I remember legitimately thinking when I was 14 years old, just trying to make sense of emotions. Because I like this girl. And it's so if I remember specifically having this thought. So if I say that I'm happy about something, is she going to think that I'm gay? That was a thought in my head.
I don't know, but that always happens to me. So,
if I think that something is funny, are they going to think that there's something wrong with me? Am I allowed to say that I'm full of emotion about something? I was genuinely confused about when I was allowed.
Despite your wife and children, I'm currently very convinced that you're a homosexual.
Oh, totally. But no, it was a real thing because I really had to, in order to figure out a way to communicate with my wife and all of my girls. I'm a girl dad. I have no boys. So I have 3 daughters. And in order to learn how to communicate with them, I had to get in touch with my feelings because I had to allow them to tell me about their feelings in a way that was inviting and not overbearing, not shut up, rub some dirt on it. Don't be a bitch, Yeah. Oh, I fell and scraped my knee. Don't be a pussy. You're not dead. That kind of thing. And so in my re-education as a man, as part of my evolution, that I can relate to Justin Baldoni trying to juxtapose his Baha'i faith that is about gender equality and trying to rationalize that in a hyper masculine culture. That's something that I feel like a lot of boys have to do. Some are more successful at it than others. And even if he struggles with some of the things that he says that he wants to do for championing women's rights, the fact that he makes an effort, that he's very open about his struggles, about his evolution as a man, tells me a lot about the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think for a second that he's a perfect guy, but I would trust him a hell of a lot more than I would a Bill Cosby.
Oh God.
Or so, I mean, I know those are extreme examples.
We really reached to the other end of the spectrum there.
I mean,
Yeah. Oh, dude, you have so your super chat goal, you're beyond your super chat goal, but one person who apparently lives here on East Coast time really wants to hear the story about P, and they sent you like 3 super chats.
Damn it. Is it KKB?
Yeah, so you need to tell it now, because if not, then they have to go to bed.
Okay, I will tell on a KKB with 3 super. Did we already pass the Jesus?
Yeah, dude.
What a random opinion again. All right, I guess I'm telling a P story. Okay.
Right.
So I was on a cross-country trip to the Midwest, to Ohio. And look, it's like a 24-hour drive, like of just straight up driving. It's a 3-day thing. And so you drive for 10, 12 hours, and then you stop and you rest. And so in my haste, I was so tired of driving. It's like, you know what? I'm not stopping for any reason. I really had to pee. And as part of like my stock in my Nissan Sentra, it was a little 1997 Nissan Sentra that I was driving across the country in. I had like a dozen Gatorade bottles, these like 32-ounce whatever.
Did you have a bunch of Kirby's in there? Or?
No, although when I got to Ohio, I had a couple of them in my trunk and in the back seat. Anyway, I did not want to stop to pee. And so I peed in a Gatorade bottle. And I said, fuck it. I'm going to pee in the bottle. And so I did. And I maneuvered in such a way to make it happen. And I closed the lid, because what else I wasn't going to throw it out the window. Although in retrospect, maybe I should have. I placed it on the seat next to me because there's no cup holder that's large enough for a Gatorade bottle. And then just not even thinking about it. I don't even remember what I was listening to, like some kind of a music. Back then, there was no podcasts. Back then, there was barely, I don't even think there was satellite radio. You had CDs. And you would burn CDs. That's what you would do. And so I was listening to those, and I was like,
yeah, I know about burning CDs. We still had that when I was growing up. So.
Oh, you're so old. Look at you.
Fucking old, man.
I was old enough for Napster to be a thing.
I know that name. So booyah.
Oh, it is the website that started it all.
Yeah, I only know that because of the what was it called? The Social Network movie.
Oh my God.
The one about Mark Zuckerberg or whatever?
Yeah, Zuckerberg. That's exactly how you say his name. Anyway.
Zuckerberg.
Long story short, I had the bottle of pee on the same seat as my other bottles of Gatorade. Not even thinking about it. It had been like an hour or two since I peed in the bottle. I picked it up and just with my eyes on the road, and I unscrewed the bottle, and then I just took a swig, and I'm like, that's salty. And I looks like, oh, I spit pee all over my steering wheel, all over the inside of my car, all over my lap. I was like, oh, I had to pull over, and I was like gagging. And I was like, I just drank pee. What the fuck, dude? Oh, it was so bad. And then I remember having this thought, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's like, what?
Yeah, my favorite part of that story is how you're pretending it was an accident. Oh, man.
I remember having the thought as I was closing it up, do not pick up the warm bottle. But after an hour, it wasn't warm anymore. And so it was like,
oh man. I used to put I would put vodka in water bottles, because I would go places and I'm like, I'm not paying for liquor. So I would just put vodka in water bottles, especially at football games. I would like hide them in the back of my shirt or something. They don't check there. And so I went with my family to a wedding one weekend, and I had put some vodka in a water bottle. And then the next day I got in the front seat and the water bottle's on the floor, and I was like, okay, we're fine. And then later I went to take a swig of water, and nothing bad happened to me, but then my mom went to take a swig of water, and it was straight up vodka. That's not where you thought that was going, huh?
Not at all. Where? How old were you when that happened?
I was like 5 years ago.
Oh, I was gonna say, Lauren, I would have had to put you over my knee. My
yes,
eldest daughter.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, that was like 5 years ago. Tops.
Oh boy. Let me, before I get too off the rails.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm finishing this article, by the way.
Yes, you are, mister.
Okay. You know what?
You made me wait to get in here.
I'll summon the strength.
I waited in line at the club for like an hour, so you're gonna finish this article.
This is part of the swim training, my endurance. Okay, so
yeah, just hold your breath the rest of the time.
Hypermasculinity. Okay, so we've passed the super chat goal really fast. That took like 2 minutes. At school, as Baldoni recounted in his 2021 memoir, Man Enough, he was hazed by older boys who compared the size of their genitals to the locker room. Yeah, guys do that kind of thing. Snuck pubic hair into his food and gave him his nickname Balboner. That is such like a 1994, like Beavis and Butthead type nickname.
Yeah.
Something I would have said back then.
That's so dumb. It's so dumb, man.
That was the humor of the mid 90s. I mean, what are you gonna do?
As a child, I feel like that would be devastating, but as an adult, it's like that's so dumb, dude.
Of course it's dumb. It's like obviously it's dumb, but for whatever reason, it was hilarious. I used to think that Adam Sandler was hilarious, and I watched it and I was like, Jesus Christ, I thought that was funny. Why?
I love Adam Sandler.
There's a couple movies that stand the test of time. Happy Gilmore will never get old.
Yeah.
Never, ever.
Wait,
any other football movie.
They're making a second one of, I don't know if it was Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison. One of those. They're making a second one.
It can't be Billy Madison. It just can't be. It has to be Happy Gilmore.
Maybe he goes to college.
I do not want to see that movie. There's just that was too ridiculous.
Yeah, it would probably be an instant cancel these days.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. That one and Waterboy. Those are the two classics, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
All right. So these types of memories were catalysts for the inferiority complex that plagued me through most of my adolescence and into my 20s. See, this is the point of the story where I'd be like, why don't you just stop being a little bitch about it? So you were bullied. So what? Did you die? You're fine. And you're okay. And you group with that. That is my toxic masculinity.
I was about to say that.
Yeah. I'm not honoring his perspective, his story, and allowing him to be a man with human emotions. And so I still work on that to this day. And I'm completely wrong for it, but I'm trying to get better.
No, I mean, some people really are just little bitches.
I mean, that's true.
But I feel like being a child called Balboner is it's a perfectly valid reason as a child to feel sad.
I was called so many worse things than Balboner.
Yeah, but we don't need to know what I said to you yesterday. So keep going.
No, we don't. C word, the T word, all of those things. Some of the weirdest moments in my life have happened in the past few years, and my teenage fantasy have merged with my mid-30s professional life, and some of these women have become friends, he wrote in Man Enough. Because of his Baha'i faith, which discourages premarital sex, Baldoni remained abstinent until his freshman year at Cal State Long Beach. Now, when I read this initially, I really had to be like, suspend my own preconceived notions of what harassment or sexual assault could possibly be, because consent is consent, and it's one of the things that I'm having to reconsider in my own self, because the way that he explains it is this. He's a freshman year at Cal State Long Beach. He later recalls in Man Enough his then girlfriend initiated intercourse without his consent, an experience he said left him privately anguished. Who was I ever going to be able to talk to about it? He wrote picturing an uncomfortable conversation with his typical bro roommate. And obviously he's not going to be able to talk about it with his girlfriend, right? Because that's just not a masculine thing to do. Talk about how you were uncomfortable with the way that she took your erect penis and put it inside of her. And what is she going to say? So what, are you gay? That's what you would say. I feel like if you were to ever drop a gay insult, that would have been the one.
Me? Then?
Totally. Maybe.
No, I'm actually not a terrible person. I only say that as a facetious,
Then it's just me. Well, it's something my gay brother would say.
Your gay brother, if in that context, would really say that at that point. Jesus Christ, man.
I feel like he would have told me that if I told him
Nah,
something.
dog. If somebody's saying like I just got basically sexually violated, that's not the time where I would be like, you might be gay, bro. I would wait until later and then maybe breach the subject at another time when it's not so sensitive.
You are a 34-year-old rational and
I'm 32, you asshole.
You are a perfectly reasonable adult person that has evolved long past those things. But like, if he's right, if you tell the locker room bros, like, so what was the big deal? So where was the violation? They would not see that as him being victimized. Men just wouldn't. And there's a lot more that I can say about that, but I will refrain because I only have so much time. So after discovering the same girlfriend had been cheating on him, Baldoni later recounted. He spiraled into depression, losing 20 pounds and sleeping on the couch in an empty office his father kept. Seeking support from the Baha'i community in LA, he gradually regained a sense of purpose and threw himself into pursuing a Hollywood career, eventually landing roles on shows like The Young and the Restless, Charmed, and Everwood. Now look, I tell that story. I hope that I'm not canceled because I'm sharing with you what my unevolved 20-year-old self might have thought in that situation.
You're fine.
I can understand why Baldoni would have been afraid to go to anybody. I would not, if that happened to me, I don't think I would even recognize it as being a violation. You know what I mean? I'd probably feel weird about it because I would imagine like, hey, wait a minute, I wasn't ready for all this. I might not, maybe I wasn't at my best. Maybe I wasn't all the way ready for all those things. Maybe a lot of things, maybe stuff. I don't know. But the fact that that happened, it would not have triggered for me the thought that perhaps because I didn't consent, it was a violation. And I still struggle with that thought even today as a 44-year-old man, but I can certainly see, having represented people like Justin Baldoni in these very kinds of cases, that it is a real emotional trauma that happens. I've heard from enough experts who've given expert testimony about the way that it fucks with your brain and the way that you develop as a man and the way that it could impede your ability to become a reasonable, fully functioning human being in the future. Manifesting into your family life, manifesting into your sex life with your future wife, into the way that you communicate with your children and all kinds of other things. So there's my rant on that. I'm not going to say anything more about it. Other than I understand that my perspective is unevolved and still evolving, and I recognize where I'm wrong. After discovering, by 2013, frustrated with the limited, often superficial parts he was being offered and facing foreclosure on his home, Baldoni began shifting his focus to directing and producing. That year, he founded Wayfarer Entertainment, where his father, Sam, held a role as an executive producer, aiming to create socially conscious content inspired by their shared spiritual values. The company's first office, located above a carpet in the Fairfax district, was modest. I bought my first suit over there in the Fairfax district. Was modest, staffed by an army of interns among a ping pong table, recalled Mickey Manus, who described himself as Wayfarer's first full-time employee. How do we use media to make the world a better place? That was the mission, said McManus, who served as the company's EVP of development for its first couple of years. It was an uphill battle to go into a network and do something wholesome. One of Wayfarer's first projects, My Last Days, a web docuseries about terminally ill individuals embracing life, found a home on Baldoni's friend and fellow Baha'i devotee, Rainn Wilson. Rainn Wilson, no kidding. Soul Pancake platform. The series drew millions of views and would eventually land a spot on the CW. In 2014, Baldoni landed his breakout role as Rafael Solano in the CW dramedy Jane the Virgin, based on a Venezuelan telenovela. The role of love interest Gina Rodriguez's Jane had originally been intended for a Latino actor, but was rewritten as Italian for Baldoni. He could totally pass for a Venezuelan. No, it doesn't matter. Whatever. Make him Italian then. He is Italian. I can absolutely see how I took a role from a Latino actor. He wrote in a chapter devoted to the subject of race, he added, the system doesn't benefit me just because I am a man. The system also benefits me because I'm a white man. Not to mention...
Sorry, I was muted the whole time I was talking.
What were you trying to say?
I was saying, I is it bad that I didn't think he was Italian?
Oh, I thought he was like Middle Eastern or something.
I thought he was like South American.
I mean, he's an attractive man. I mean, whatever he is, he's one of these ambiguous ethnic folks.
Mm-hmm.
There's some folks out there. I mean, I'm ambiguously ethnic. I feel like nobody really knows what I am. They have to guess.
Yeah,
I suspect, but they have to guess. It's funny when I lived in Ohio, they thought that I was Puerto Rican.
You have a new super chat, by the way.
Oh, is this you calling me?
It's not from me. No, it's not from me.
Let's see what we got. Is it Anquinet with I want the pee story. Oh, that was an old super chat.
No, there's one more.
Okay, let me get rid of that one. I got to show this one. Somebody said pee on. Oh, that was you.
No, that was me, dude. You're going backwards.
Okay, I didn't unstar the original ones. That's the issue. All right, I got that one. Oh, was that the ninja? Pee.
Yeah. There you go. That was it.
She just want to let it up. Pee. Totally. Thanks, Schnitzel, for the 2. All right, I'm gonna be sure to unstar this lest I have to read the exclamated P again. Yeah. Palover Girl says, no, you're not an ambiguous nothing. I love it. All right, I'll take it. I'll take the not ambiguous nothing.
I think she meant nutting. You're not ambiguous nutting. Clearly, you're nutting.
Totally. Could you ambiguously nutting? Is that possible?
If you're skillful, maybe.
I guess if you have the power.
That's a story for another stream and another super chat goal.
We're totally going off the rails right now.
Oh man.
All right. All right. So Baldoni grappled in his memoir with the systemic racial inequities that he now recognized how given him a leg up. I can absolutely see how it took a role from a Latino actor. The system does not benefit me because I'm a man. They benefit me because I'm a white man. Interesting that he refers to himself as a white man.
I didn't think he was a white guy.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing about that guy that would be, even like if you're Italian, I guess they kind of are.
Italians are white guys, yeah.
In the fact that they are Anglos. The race.
They're just like Mario and Luigi, man. I don't know how else to say it.
That's racist.
I don't care.
Oh boy.
That's not racist. They're all white, bro.
As Jane the Virgin garnered acclaim, Baldoni leveraged his rising fame to expand Wayfarer, pitching socially conscious content in crowd-pleasing formats, what he called chocolate or chocolate-covered broccoli. He also ventured into tech entrepreneurship, launching 2 apps, Shouts, which promoted online positivity by scoring users' social media interactions, and Belly Bump, which helped women document their pregnancies through time-lapse videos. Neither took off. By the way, Schnitzel Ninja just published a full-on, very comprehensive summary of the Laura Owens the Clayton Echard case. If you haven't had a chance to yet, run to her channel now or after this live or maybe tomorrow, whenever you got some time. It's like 11 minutes long. Yeah. And you will get a full-on rundown of the Laura Owens case. So when we make references to Laura Owens and her
dating contracts,
her R-word attorney, I was almost going to say the R-word. I almost said it.
You didn't do it though, man.
Yeah, gingerbread. Her attorney gingerbread. That's what we're talking about. It is a fascinating 11 minutes, and that I'm sure is going to lead to a whole rabbit hole of other stuff that is on her channel and other places. So go check that out. Mm-hmm. He's hardcore Baha'i, right? And one of the major tenets, as I came to understand it, was from him, our work should be our service to mankind. He used to use this analogy in regards to the patriarchy and the role of women. Our species is a 2-winged bird, and one of the wings has been injured. How does that make sense? I don't get it.
Flap, flap. I don't know.
If he were to tell me that, I was like, yeah, dude, totally. One of the wings is injured. I get it. I'm with you, man. Our species is a two-winged bird.
Wait, I got this. Wait. I got this. Like one wing is majestic, but the other one's all broken. I don't know, man.
You didn't have it. You didn't have it.
You didn't like that? Hang on.
Oh, you're doing
something. I'm flapping my wing. Yeah, I'm flapping my wings.
I think he means like one wing is broken, and that would be the men's side, and the other wing is when I don't get it.
No, it was this side.
Total. Emerging in 19th century Iran, the Baha'i faith now has an estimated 5 to 8 million followers worldwide, including more than 170,000 in the U.S., with an emphasis on racial and gender equality.
Somebody says, Lauren, please stop.
What are you doing, folks, Lauren?
Flapping.
Michaela says, "Cool. I think I felt it quiver a little." What are we talking about? Palover says, "Fact: Italians, Greeks, Spaniards are not pure white based on they had access to North and Sub-Saharan populace. My mixed race kids are confused for all of them." I completely get it. I also remember reading in school that there's like basically 3 species of human, and I forget the scientific terms. And so, insofar as you lump Italians and Spaniards and the European continent and all of them into one, and you know what? I'm not qualified to talk about this. I just remember this like from like 6th grade at one point. But no, I know exactly what you mean. I used to think that there was only 2 races, black and white. And I would just basically lump everybody that was not black as obviously white. That would include Asian folks. That would include Middle Eastern folks. I mean, I didn't know the difference. And it never dawned on me. And that was because of the Michael Jackson song, Black and White. I feel like Lauren is totally spaced. She's spacing.
So baked, man.
Let me just get through this, man. All right. So they're talking about Baha'i. So despite its emphasis on equality, some Baha'i principles remain culturally conservative in ways that clash with Hollywood's more liberal and permissive norms. Women cannot serve on the religion's highest governing body of the Universal House of Justice. Though they can hold leadership roles in all other Baha'i institutions, same-sex marriage is not recognized at Baha'i teachings. They're going into the fundamentals of Baha'i. I'm not going to.
Oh my God, they don't like the gays.
Oh, who knew? Who knew? There's a lot of people that don't like the gays.
I know.
Oh.
What do you think? Half of them.
Oh boy.
Whoa, who's this guy?
Who is this effing guy? That's what you wanted to say. Who's this fucking guy? This is shit. I think who was that? So it was through his faith that Baldoni connected with Steve Sarowitz, a Chicago-based
is that Steve?
convert, I think so, and billionaire founder of Palo City, when he served as an advisor on the game.
You know what that is, right?
What?
Paylocity.
I've never been on the website in my life.
We use it for work. It's kind of like an HR thing. Well, at least in our context, you can use it to clock in and clock out and do payroll and all that.
So it's not Palo City.
Not Paylocity, I think.
Got it. Makes sense.
I like Palo City better though.
I totally did as well. The following year, Sarowitz's investment firm 4S Partners acquired a majority stake in Wayfarer Entertainment, establishing a $25 million content fund to expand its staff, move to larger offices, and evolve the company, now called Wayfarer Studios, into a hub for socially impactful storytelling. In 2019, Baldoni made his directorial debut with 5 Feet Apart, which starred Cole Sprouse and Haley Richardson, released by CBS Films. The movie grossed over $90 million globally on a $7 million budget. That is quite the return. Though many reviewers found it mawkish and saccharine. The hell is mawkish? All right, you don't know either, so we're going to do it. I don't believe I've ever read that word or come across it anywhere. Mawkish. I like it, though. I know what saccharine is. I'll go with that. Encouraged by the film.
Wait, what is that? What is saccharine?
I can Google it. I don't know. I can't give you a...
So you don't know. Mawkish means sentimental in a feeble or sickly way, sir.
In a sickly way? Feeble?
Whatever that means, yeah.
All right. Encouraged by the film's financial success, Wayfarer, honestly, I thought saccharin was a spice.
I have no fucking idea what that is.
Expanded into larger projects, including Baldoni's Second Nature, Clouds, a 2020 Disney Plus drama with Zach Zobich, a teenage singer-songwriter who died of cancer in 2013. The unabashedly heartstrung tugging film earned solid reviews and propelled am I pronouncing his name right? Beaches?
I don't know. I know who this is. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but I know who Zach is because I saw this like a long time ago. I just had no idea who Justin was.
I see. Song
Wayfarer.
Of the same title to the top of the iTunes chart, helping to raise funds for osteosarcoma through the Children's Cancer Research Fund. This guy sounds like a fucking asshole, doesn't he? Like they're building him up to tear him down. While
absolute scrotum. Yep. Totally.
Why? Once again, Lauren stops me in my tracks. Why? While building Wayfarer, Baldoni was also shaping his public image as feminist ally. The birth of his daughter Maya in 2015 had prompted a deeper reflection on gender equity and the kind of man he wanted to be. In his 2017 TED Talk, he declared, "I believe that as men, it's time we start to see past our privilege and recognize that we are not just part of the problem. Fellas, we are the problem." Baldoni had already demonstrated his love of grand gestures, particularly when it came to romance. Years earlier, he proposed to his wife, Swedish actress Emily Baldoni, Nee Foxler, is that her maiden name? With an elaborate, highly produced 27-minute video featuring hidden cameras, choreographed flash mobs, and a montage of their relationship. What if somebody like choreographed for you a flash mob, like when you were like going into work or something?
Oh, me?
Would you be like get off my lawn type of guy?
What's the word for workplace homicide?
Oh, well. I believe the 90s term was, I would go postal. She's going to go postal.
I'd probably just walk out, man.
It's like, all right, see you, love you, bye.
I'm not into that.
When you grow up, I'll come back to work. Yeah. Some of us care about office productivity.
Yeah, that's what bothers me, not the group attention. Right. I always tell people, I'm like, I'm fine with it when I'm behind my computer screen because it's like I can't see everybody who's watching me, but in person, like I do not like group attention at all. Well, I do not thrive in that environment.
You just don't get a choice. You're going to have group attention no matter what.
I don't know how to deal with that. Tell
us a story, Lauren. I'm going to go on for about 20 seconds. Give me 20 seconds.
20 seconds. He's definitely going to have a wank, guys. He always does this. It's like 20 seconds. I'm like, so you're going to jerk off twice? Come on. I don't have a story, though. What kind of story can I tell? Fuck. I'm not good on the spot! Over! I don't know if you can actually hear me screaming, so sorry if I hurt your ears. Story. Come on, Lauren. No, I'm not good at improv, and I'm kind of baked, so I can't tell you a story. A butter one. Oh, no, I told you guys my butter story about in traffic. I was in traffic and somebody rear-ended me and I was on the on-ramp to the interstate. And so I had to get out to talk to the guy to get his information. And then my dog got out. My dog's name is Butter. And he was a puppy and he starts running around the on-ramp to the interstate in traffic. And I was trying to talk to the guy who accidentally bumped me, just like barely bumped me with his truck. And he looked horrified at me because I was like trying to chase my dog around. It was like his fault. And he finally came back when I fell over in the rain on the ground. It was like a bad movie.
I totally came in on the punchline and I missed the entire story. But
there was no punchline. It was pretty much just me humiliated and sad.
Oh, well, I told a humiliation story earlier, so you're good. In good company.
The crap cam story. What is the crap cam story?
I told a pee story, so they want you to tell a poop story. I'd kind of rather you didn't.
I don't know what the crap cam. Can you be more specific, Rob?
I don't think that there should ever exist a crap cam, to be honest with you.
I don't have any readily available crap stories. I mean,
the 2 Girls, 1 Cup. The first time you watched that.
How did you know I was in that?
I know that you've seen that movie. I know that you have.
I'm still horrified to this day.
I showed it to my grandma.
Is she dead now? And is that why?
No, but we fed her a gummy.
Wait, what? How did she die?
Old age. She was old.
I was gonna wait and see if you said heart problems, and I was like, yeah, it was definitely the video. You know?
She had all kinds of shit wrong with her, man. She had like dementia and other stuff.
Oh, that's it then.
She was
That's what happened.
basically 84, 85 years old. But me,
Yeah, she would have been fine if you hadn't shown her that video.
I blame it was me and my gay brother. He had the idea.
Oh, sure. Blame your gay brother for everything, man. Why don't you?
Well, he wanted to give her a gummy. It wasn't even a gummy. It was a brownie. He gave her a brownie. He said, "Hey, Grandma, why don't you have some of this?" And so he did. And then, hey, Grandma, what do you think of this? And then she's like, "Christopher."
So you fed your grandmother a chocolate edible and then made her watch Two Girls, One Cup?
I blame my gay brother. I take no responsibility.
Because gay dudes usually aren't into that kind of porn. So I'm thinking it had something to do with you, but whatever.
Oh, if you only knew my brother.
Man, I was in middle school when that came out, and I was like, what's this? And I went on LimeWire.
Oh, God.
And I was like, what's Two Girls, One Cup? Ah!
I want to say that was what, 2005, 2006? I don't know, man. It was horrific.
And now I'm a homosexual. So just saying, there's a correlation.
That was well, it did not turn me gay.
That's yet to be
if there was any
confirmed.
if there was anything I was going to do, it might have been that. I felt like we started the show so professional, and then you jumped in.
Because you didn't give me the link, and then you did, and then it went to shit, but not in a cup.
There has been plenty of your live streams that I've turned to shit, and so I feel like this is
not like this, brother. Not like this.
Not like this.
Will you continue reading me the story, please?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm going to just go to this part. It was constant positivity all time. While Baldoni's openness about his efforts to be a better man earned praise from many, others questioned his authenticity. All right, this is the part of the article that starts getting shitty. Inspired by his faith, Baldoni had long tried to help others through such efforts as the Skid Row Carnival of Love, an annual event he founded in 2015 to help LA's unhoused community. But to some observers, his public gestures, such as filming himself giving clothing to a homeless man or asking employees to sign their emails with the phrase "so much love," felt performative, aimed at self-branding as much as bringing about genuine change. Yeah, I would also argue that the tenets and the foundation of the Baha'i faith started long before somebody stuck a camera in his face and told him to perform.
Yeah.
The foundations of his core beliefs were well-intentioned, and if he felt the need to perform a little bit, he's an effing actor. It is the nature of his profession. And who gives a shit? If you want to persuade and persuade others into the virtues of your faith, it takes a little bit of performance art. Just go ask Billy Mays. Not Billy Mays. Who's the Christian guy?
I know who you're talking about, and I know his first name is Billy, but I can't remember his last name.
Graham. Billy.
You were super close the first time.
The Shamwell guy versus.
So
Billy
basically,
Graham.
Billy Cracker. That's what we're saying. Got
totally.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll remember now.
Look, the whole reason why the preaching is a thing is because it's performance arts. You were performing the foundational tenements of Christianity or whatever the religion is that you're espousing in such a way that people are entertained by it enough to be compelled to give the church money or commit their faith. Just that's what it is, right? And so it is often the culture in California, more so than anywhere else that I've lived, that whenever they see somebody else doing good, they immediately start, through their jealousy, discounting it somehow. Oh, he's only doing that for the cameras. Oh, he's not really like that. He's just performing. They know nothing about this guy, man. Yeah. You start to hear some of that stuff come out at the very beginning of this lawsuit. This guy's way too clean.
Well, somebody came out and said, and this was like not something that was documented or recorded in any way, shape, or form. Apparently, somebody came out and said that Justin had given them his house when the LA wildfires were happening and stuff like that, or like they gave him a place to stay. And that was like not filmed. So they were like, no, he's actually just a nice person.
So do that kind of thing, it was like,
yeah, but people don't include that in these kinds of articles.
No, they're selective and they cherry pick. And you read this article and you would think that this guy's like a big phony. You would think that this guy's it's just a big put on, like he's leading a cult and he's asking people for money. He's literally an actor. He doesn't have to be a proponent of the Baha'i faith to do what he needs to do. Honestly, it's probably hindering him, if anything. Or making him a target in some regards. And you see that often. I mean, I saw that when I was embroiled in my faith squabbles way back in the day. That is a way different topic for another podcast. Anyway, so it was constant positivity all the time. I would say toxic positivity. Imagine. He's just too fucking nice, man. That guy's evil. He's freaking evil. It's creeping me out.
Yep.
Basically what he's saying. I'm always a little dubious of people who advertise themselves as disruptors of the status quo or quote unquote good people. It felt phony. In response to these criticisms, a spokesperson for Baldoni and Wayfarer said, there has never been any reported complaints regarding the workplace culture or any communicated issues regarding the platforms of its founders. If any guidance was ever provided to employees of how to conduct their written correspondence, it was to ensure that the activities of its employees remain professional and aligned with the ethos of the company. Wayfarer believes that joy and positivity are the essence of good work. And they stand by the statement.
Somebody says they were the people that I was just telling about that stayed in his house. They were strangers, not people he knew. Imagine allowing strangers into your home to live because they lost their homes. And then somebody says the guy told Justin he was with another family. So Justin housed 2 families for 3 weeks. Strangers.
What a douchebag.
Right?
Fucking asshole.
We should sue him.
I know. He's totally fake. Totally fake. Fuck that guy. Sexual predator. Golf.
Plus, I heard that the Baha'i like broccoli, so I'm filing a CRD complaint.
Was it chocolate? What does the chocolate refer to again? What is that? What is that?
I actually don't know. I saw that word above, and it was like chocolate broccoli or something.
Is it like a hairstyle or something?
I have no fucking idea.
All right. In response to these criticisms, I read that part. Multiple employees also expressed discomfort with the increasing prominence of the Baha'i faith in Wayfarer's culture. There was an evangelizing aspect to the way Justin spoke about the faith that, in my opinion, felt professionally inappropriate. If that's the the inappropriateness that they talk about, I mean, that has nothing to do with him. There's nothing wrong with him trying to look, it's a constitutional right to be able to state that I am this part of this religion and I'm proud of it. And look, office culture and stuff, and nobody's forcing you to do anything. But the fact that that's the thing that they're earmarking as inappropriate just seems misplaced in a lawsuit that's supposed to be about his sexual predatorness or propensity for harassment or the way that he silenced somehow Blake Lively's cries for help. Am I off on that, or are we getting somewhere?
No, you're good.
All right. Others described a workplace where Baha'i principles were frequently invoked in discussions about the company's mission and projects, particularly after Sarowitz became more involved. Baha'i values were a driving force behind everything they did. It came up routinely as a newer Baha'i member. Steve wanted to talk about it all the time. A spokesperson for Baldoni and Wayfarer noted that while the founders of Wayfarer Studios are Baha'i, the majorities of its senior leadership and staff are not. And no Baha'i-related activities are ever mandated by the company, as all of Wayfarer's projects are rooted in a belief system that stems from various faiths and backgrounds. Speaking from a place of spirituality is commonplace. Employees are encouraged to celebrate and practice their individual beliefs however they see fit, a message which is proudly supported by leadership and also supported by the Constitution of the United States. As long as they're not discriminating against somebody else's spiritual beliefs, there's nothing wrong with what's going on. Is it annoying? I guess you'd have to ask them. But it seems to me that they're just put off by a guy that is too squeaky clean, and nobody could be that squeaky clean without getting a little bit muddy. So the saying goes. Rooted in his spiritual beliefs, Baldoni saw Wayfarer as a vehicle for inspirational storytelling. So did Mel Gibson, as a matter of fact. But some employees felt its relentless emphasis on uplift sometimes veered into discomforting territory. Two former staffers in particular spoke of their unease with Baldoni's repeated focus on stories of terminal illness.
Did you just call him Baldoni?
Did I?
Yes.
Fuck. At least I didn't. I did not. I'm rewind.
Mister, I'm not that high.
I was about to go on. I was about to make a really good point.
Yeah, point. Because it's about Boni now.
It's Baldoni. Balboa.
You're like the people in his middle school class that made fun of him, you dickhead.
They used to call me Omar the Candy Bar.
Yeah, that's not an insult. That's just creepy.
Oh, all right. The whole point of this article is there's trying to expose instances of where others have identified that his behavior was inappropriate. And the best that they could come up with so far is that he's too squeaky clean and he gets on people with his propensity to uplift everything. Fuck that guy. That's literally what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, up yours, man.
Man. To be fair, when you're in a bad mood and somebody's like, oh, bouncing off the walls, like that one lady in Office Space, he must have a case of the Mondays, like, you know, those types. It's a little off-putting, you know?
I live alone for a reason.
Oh, my God, if I could live alone, man.
Shut up. You have children.
I always tell my wife that, do you know how rich I would be if I wasn't married with you and had the 2 kids? I would be somewhere in Italy, and I would be on a yacht somewhere with like models and stuff. I wouldn't.
You say that to your wife?
I'm obviously joking.
I hope so.
He gets a laugh every time. Like half the time he gets a laugh.
No, that was terrible, man. You're terrible. That was awful.
Yeah, well, that's what I tell my gay brother who wants to be single all of his life.
Oh, there we go. Bringing up the gay brother again. Every time something weird happens. That's homophobic.
Whenever I reference my brother, I always reference him as gay brother, and everybody said, "Why does he got to be the gay brother?" Because he's my favorite gay. He's the gay. He's the gay.
Whoa! Hello.
I know.
I'm not cool with this.
Well, he has grown accustomed to it.
I'm about to get your stream demonetized with all the bad words I'm going to say to you about that.
Oh no. See, now you're making me feel bad. I feel like I've gone wrong somewhere.
I mean, it's long before my time, but yeah, probably.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, my brother affectionately refers to himself that way. And so it's like his never mind.
I don't actually care that much, man.
It must be the gummies.
My brain's onto something else.
I don't know what. Oh, my whole point in saying that was because my brother he's like 41 years old. He's not married. He's always taking these trips to Spain and stuff. And so that's where that joke originated from. And then I would tell my wife, I was like, yeah, whenever I want to go to Spain, you know how much money it costs? Like $20,000.
I don't get it.
Oh, never mind. Well, because you got to bring like the wife and the kids and everybody. And
okay. I thought we were still talking about your gay brother. Sorry.
Oh, we are, but I can't refer him as gay anymore. He's just my brother now.
Why?
Because he scolded me. Yeah, you scolded me, and I feel bad about it.
Was that a scolding? No, I scolded you because he's your favorite and not me.
Oh, was that the scolding? Well,
yeah, dude. I don't give a shit if you call him your gay brother.
You know, could I have like 2 favorites? Because I have 2 favorites.
Fine.
It's you and him. You guys are my favorite gays.
That's better.
All right.
I'm healing.
Can we be friends again?
We weren't friends before.
I felt like you were ready to unfriend me.
No, I'm too tired for that.
Oh.
Yeah, man.
What are we doing on this show right now?
Not sure. I'm listening to you read, though. Go ahead.
All right. I was stuck in the middle of nowhere dealing with this anarchy, and they were really there for me. They risked a lot of money for humanitarian projects that they didn't make back. That's putting your money where your mouth is. There were always good intentions. A lot of corporations are phony. You have to measure the impact. Justin is generally a good egg. So following a series of leadership changes at Wayfarer, Jamie Heath, Baldoni's best friend, and fellow Baha'i, became the company's president in 2021, a longtime songwriter and producer who worked with artists Shaka Khan and Solange. Keith, like Sarowitz, had little prior experience in the film industry. Isn't Solange Beyonce's sister?
I think so. I know it's obviously a relative of Beyonce. I can't remember.
Is Shaka Khan still alive? I feel like she passed away.
I don't know.
Is she still around?
No idea.
Well, the following year, Sarowitz and his wife Jessica invested an additional $125 million into the company, fueling further expansion. In March of 24, Heath, who also co-hosted the Man Enough podcast, was elevated to chief executive. Wayfarer's internal culture was at times dysfunctional and riven. It says riven, I think it means driven, by internal politics, according to one former executive at the company, with Baldoni, who was often away on sets, only occasionally making appearances. He would come in and everyone would kind of stand and greet him as if he was an arriving conqueror, but he didn't really understand how the day-to-day business worked. More on to this. Okay, spokesperson for Baldoni and Wayfarer said that Baldoni was not deeply involved in daily management, adding, Justin Baldoni does not oversee and hasn't ever overseen the day-to-day operations of Wayfarer Studios, and emphasized the company's robust leadership team. Whatever workplace tensions existed came to a head in 2020 and 21, when a lawsuit alleging racial discrimination and wrongful termination brought internal grievances to light, and a separate copyright dispute involving Baldoni and Wayfarer raised questions about whether the company's stated ideals align with its practices. More about this. We talked about that lawsuit earlier. They asked about Sarowitz's alleged comments. Spokesperson said Mr. Sarowitz was not a defendant in the lawsuit. More about that lawsuit. Throughout their defense of Mr. Norman's lawsuit, Mr. Baldoni, Wayfarer Studios, and Wayfarer Entertainment vigorously denied all of Mr. Norman's claims. In fact, public records confirmed the trial court dismissed Mr. Baldoni and Wayfarer Studios from the lawsuit well before any resolution by the parties and the concurrent dismissal of the remainder of the lawsuit, other than stating that the matter was resolved. We are unable to further comment. I got to get your opinion on something, Lauren.
Go ahead.
All right. So you're reading this article.
Yes, those pants make you look fat.
Totally. That's not what makes you look fat.
What were you going to ask, mister?
I fucking forgot.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so this was supposed to be a hit piece on Justin Baldoni, right? They were supposed to apprise you of previous instances where his behavior was weird on set, where it was inappropriate, where it made others feel uncomfortable. And the best that they've been able to present to you this far down into the article, and we're like more than halfway through, almost to the bottom, is the best that they've done so far. What is your impression of it? And what was your impressions early on your stream? I missed it because I was doing family stuff.
I feel like this is just like nonsense, like overly sensitive nonsense. And I feel that way about a lot of things these days, and I've said that a gazillion times, especially with the part where they're talking about his faith and stuff, and they're like, they don't believe in homosexual marriage. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Like, I don't care. Just even if that were true, which, you know, people who are Baha'i have come into my comments since I did that video and have said that's not even true. My daughter's, you know, I'm Baha'i and my daughter's gay, and she's perfectly, like, we don't have a problem with that. Even if it were true, I'm just kind of like, I feel like there are a lot of subtle ways that this article picks at like social justice issues and tries to make it a negative somehow, and I'm just kind of like, that turns me off to it. I'm just kind of like, I'm not getting any sort of real message from this other than we're just trying very hard to pick at the right strings to make people annoyed with him, and these are the popular strings to pick.
I know that you're not very much into politicking, but do you think that the tenor of this article is in parts responsible for what's going on right now in the Oval Office?
In what way?
Never mind. You know what? Let's not politic right now.
Yeah, we don't have to. You can ask me later.
I'll ask you later. Yeah, it feels like the intent was to smear Baldoni's name. They just don't have any dirt on this guy.
Nope.
Maybe it's just he's really this guy. Like, the worst is he's a little bit too zealous about his faith. It's a little annoying how uplifting he tries to be all the time. I feel like he's a big phony. But it also feels like a lot of what is out there is him being very open and honest about his struggles as a man.
Mm-hmm.
He's been very consistent in his message. Maybe he hasn't been perfect the entire time. I think he's 41 years old. Maybe there have been elements of him that has performed certain aspects of his face, but so often what?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the Times was going with in publishing this stuff. It feels like they were mandated by somebody to write a hit piece on Baldoni, and what they actually are writing is sort of like this non-fictional, unauthorized biography of his upbringing that kind of makes you like him more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially towards the end of this, it's just kind of like, what were you trying to accomplish here in the last section where they're just talking about the lawsuit in the last few paragraphs. I'm just like, what exactly were you trying to accomplish here? Because you all of a sudden are taking a super neutral stance. It's kind of like, what?
Yeah, I'm gonna get to this last part here. I'll just read this last part because this is what you're talking about. Because the rest of it is that.
Yeah.
And the higher the pedestal, the harder the fall. So I guess this is the punchline of the article. As Baldoni's battle with Lively unfolded last year, speculation swirled online about a curious parallel on the big screen. In the summer comic book tentpole, Deadpool and Wolverine, some viewers wondered whether Reynolds was taking a jab at Baldoni with the character Nicepool, a sanctimonious anti-hero sporting a man bun. In one scene, Nicepool, also played by Reynolds, comments on the appearance of Lady Pool, played by Lively after childbirth, saying, "She just had a baby too, you can't even tell." When Deadpool replies, "I don't think you're supposed to say that," Nicepool shrugs it off. "That's okay, I identify as a feminist." Later, Lady Pool guns Nicepool down in front of a flower shop, a significant setting in It Ends With Us, as Deadpool uses him as a human shield. What the fuck are they on about?
Did you not see that?
I remember reading it, but like the way that I don't remember it. I don't remember these quotes.
Hold on. I have you've seen the clips though, yeah?
I have not seen the clips.
Hold on. I have a clip. It's like everything that happened in 1 minute or less. Give me 1 second. And I'll pull it up. Let me share my screen with you.
Do it.
Quick. Yeah. I'm gonna go to studio. Well, I have to find it first because it's been a few weeks at least.
Oh, well, you were not prepared for having...
I'll find it. It'll only take a minute, but go. You can keep reading. Wade.
Yeah, no, I'll keep reading. And then we'll go on about that. So, Baldoni's legal team took notice. In January, Friedman sent a letter to Disney and Marvel demanding they preserve all documents related to Baldoni, alleging a deliberate attempt to mock, harass, ridicule, intimidate, or bully Baldoni through the character of Nicepool. Appearing on the Megyn Kelly show on January 7th, Friedman highlighted the similarities. There's no question it relates to Justin. I mean, anybody that watched that hair bun, it's pretty obvious what's being done. A representative for Reynolds, who was not publicly remarked on the Nicepool allegations, did not respond to the Times' requests or comments.
Oh, damn. Okay, if I put the share screen thing there, so if you see it at the bottom.
Let's do it.
Okay, hang on. Let me put it. Oh.
My calling is to one.
Hold on.
I'd be fighting alongside them, but my calling is to one day host a podcast that monetizes the women's movement. But in here, everybody calls me Nicepool. Oh my goodness, wait till you see Lady Pool. She is gorgeous. She just had a baby too, and can't even tell. I don't think you're supposed to say that. That's okay. I identify as a feminist. Right.
Cassandra Nova invades Deadpool's mind and gains access to his memories by literally sticking her hand inside his head. Afterward, he yells, "And where in God's name is the intimacy coordinator?" Here's where it gets really bad. Blake Lively's character shoots and violently kills the Nicepool, Justin Baldoni, alleged character.
Busy time, baby.
Look alive!
And then he drags him back out to get shot some more.
Hey!
This doesn't seem like something illegal. It does. Okay, so that's it, pretty much.
Oh, it's parody. It's not illegal, but
yeah. So it's not illegal, but a dick move. So apparently people couldn't see the video. I think it's because I have it set to members only. Maybe.
Oh, well, now
Maybe
that
that's
it's
why.
for free.
But they could hear it. they could hear it, so they know
Yeah.
what was going on there.
Yeah, I've never seen that video, but can I ask you a question? If you were a guy and Ryan Reynolds was trying to bully you like that, is there a world where you and him are, like, don't fight, like, physically? I feel like there was a couple of occasions where, like, he was coming at him that way, and the only thing that was stopping Justin was Reynolds is like who he is and has major influence and pull, but he was using that to kind of talk down to Justin in a way that he couldn't really defend himself.
The Deadpool stuff?
Well, not even that. Just the initial time where he's like confronting him about questioning how much his wife weighs because he had to lift her in a scene. And then there was the one meeting that they had where he's like berating him in front of everybody. And I was like, dude, what the fuck is going on? Like, I feel like those were fighting words at some point. And the only reason that they didn't is because of this weird circle of Hollywood that they ride in. I don't know. What do you think?
I would insist that everything be supervised from then on and recorded, or at least, like I said, supervised by someone, a third party, maybe someone from Sony or something. And then as far as the insults and stuff go, I don't really give a fuck if some loser who, you know, can't get it up for his wife or whatever the problem is, you know, talks bad about me. I just don't.
Well, that kind of took a different direction than I thought.
Where did you think that was going?
I don't know. I thought that we were gonna like tell me about how you're gonna. Fuck yeah, you're ready to throw down. You know.
No, dude. I simply don't give a fuck.
Yeah. That You know what? That really actually kind of tracks with your personality.
Yeah, people are not worth fighting with most of the time. So.
Well, you know, I guess that's fair. I'm just saying, man, there were some questionable things. The alleged ridicule adds fuel to a scandal that has already tarnished Baldoni's reputation and pitted him against one of Hollywood's most powerful couples, having been dropped by his agency, William Morris Endeavor, and stripped of a recent award from the nonprofit Vital Visions, which honors advocacy for women.
Oh, your screen's not on, by the way, but yeah, I mean, they can't see the thing, but obviously they can hear you. So,
just for that, I'm going to stop everything I was doing.
Punish me. What?
Cue Brianna Banks' voice.
Oh no, I can't even do that, man.
No,
I just blush anytime I hear that. Like, ah.
Oh, it's so grating every time she does it. I can't with that one, man. That'd be like the worst thing ever to hear, like mid coitus. It's like, oh, it's like, what the fuck was that? I think I would have to pause. I would pause.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'd have to get my bearings. All right. In recent weeks, several audio and video recordings have emerged that Baldoni's legal and PR team believes exonerate him, including raw footage from the set of It Ends With Us. Around the same time, his team launched a website featuring his court filings and a 168-page timeline of the film's production and the ensuing dispute, part of a broader push to counter the allegations and shape public perception. As Baldoni digs in for the battle ahead, the stakes could not be higher. A victory, whether in the court of law or public opinion, could offer a path back to Hollywood. A loss could leave everything he built in ruins. And that's why, Lauren Knighty, they're going to settle this bitch.
Fuck that.
I know you want to say that, but they both have too much to lose.
I don't know. It just depends, man. I mean, it depends on what you like value more, I guess.
Well, let me just get your opinion. Let's just say that they're able to successfully whittle down the harassment charges, and this is literally just a lawsuit about defamation, and they take away all of the sexual predator stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth it, knowing that a loss means you're probably finished in Hollywood?
When you say take away all the sexual predator stuff, what exactly is that?
My premise is I feel that there's so little evidence of sexual impropriety that would support Lively's contentions that I think they're going the motion for summary judgment route that is going to dismiss the causes of action related to sexual harassment and inappropriateness in the workplace.
Dismissal isn't enough for me. If I got a wife and 2 kids, even if I don't, man, if somebody goes through the trouble of doing that to my reputation, all of a sudden they're after everything I've done to try to be a good feminist man and like, be very involved and be very supportive and just like be very positive in the workplace and all that. I don't know. If you try to trash my reputation, you're coming for me like that. And you take over my movie, which was like a dream come true, and make me watch my premiere in a basement. And then after all of that, after I kept my mouth shut about how you treated me, you went out in the press and talked about me like that. Fuck it. No, I'm burning it to the ground unless you come out and say that didn't happen. I'm sorry, I misinterpreted the situation. I will do better.
Well, to that point, if they dismiss it, then they won't be able to do that anyway because it'll be dismissed, and they won't even get to try it. So maybe they won't move to dismiss.
Not enough for me.
Fair point to you.
When you say move to dismiss, which one are we talking about?
Baldoni moving to dismiss the causes of action against him related to sexual harassment and inappropriateness in the workplace.
I don't know. I mean, the lawyer came out and said in a filing a couple of days ago they have no intention of moving to dismiss. So,
really, I missed that part. Who said that? Friedman?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, good for him. So they want to litigate this. They want.
They want to go to court, man.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
They're not litigating like regular folks. Because my clients will be like, you know what?
Yeah, fuck it. Because like at some point, there's some people out there, man, and I would too. And like that's why with the thing with David Gingras too, I didn't want to let that go. It's like some people like it's just the principle of it. That's what matters most. Fuck the money, fuck whatever else, what people think. Like it's just that's if that's your values, those are your values, and you're going to defend that to the death. So
for sure. All right. So just to finish this. Even before the current crisis, Baldoni was candid about his fear of losing everything, laying bare his self-doubt and insecurities in the opening chapter of his memoir. I am afraid, a lot. I'm afraid of not providing for my family, not being financially secure. I'm afraid of losing my relevancy, of messing up my next movie and going to director jail, of gaining weight or not aging well, whatever that means, and then not getting any work as an actor because it had never been my talent that got me the work for all these years, but my looks. I'm afraid that I will be seen as an imposter and everyone will find out that I've just been faking it this entire time and really have no idea what I'm doing or how I even got here. Alongside his self-doubt, Baldoni acknowledged another fear, being placed on a pedestal, even one he helped build. The higher that pedestal gets, the harder the fall. I hate pedestals. You know, the problem that I think that Lively's having is that you read these paragraphs, like this paragraph is just so super relatable to like anybody that's ever dealt with imposter syndrome or that's ever tried to aspire to be something and felt like unworthy of whatever they're aspiring to be because it's fucking hard to get there.
Yeah.
Climbing a mountain is climbing a mountain. There's no shortcuts. And you always question whether or not you're good enough or strong enough or tall enough or good looking enough or whatever.
I am. I'm just kidding.
I know.
But no, I know what you mean though. I know.
But it's an example of like he seems to have this character of self-humility. And it gets really annoying to people that are unable to express it the way that he does so openly. And the way that he's gotten here, I feel like is probably a tenement of his Baha'i faith, is probably the result of decades of self-evolution, self-awareness, self-thought, and forgiveness of himself. That he's
better than Baldoni, man.
Fucking Baldoni, man. I don't know. He's just too relatable to be to gain any public backlash. And so that was the LA Times article. I mean, they go on about this stuff. This article, I feel, was an attempt to try to sway public opinion, exposing Baldoni. I did it again.
Damn it, Warren.
Exposing Baldoni as a big phony.
Yeah, no, well, also, like, if you want to accomplish that, don't put it behind a paywall, maybe. Is it still behind a paywall?
I paid for it. I paid my $1, but you could totally find it on notbehindapaywall.com.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh, well, it's on the I forgot where it's on. It's on the Reddit.
Oh, yeah, got it.
There was a Reddit link. You can read articles that are behind paywalls on this thing. It's like, oh, cool. So, yeah, but I paid the $1 right now because you know what? I'm just gonna fucking. It's $1.
Yeah. Don't forget your super chats. You have 2 other ones before you finish.
You're so much better at this than I. You
Yes,
say
sir.
you're not a professional YouTuber, but I feel like I've been doing this longer than you, and you're better at it than I.
I don't know, man. I just have ADHD, so my brain's skipping from place to place. So I'm like, oh, super chat.
I'm trying to think of like something like thoughtful and profound to say, and then like, oh, super chats, bitch. Oh yeah. And to that regard,
cut that out.
Nicole, what did I say?
Nicole Scott Hare.
Nicole Scott Hare. How could Flores have been invited to appear on something that came out in 2016? That's a good question. I have no idea.
I don't know what that means.
That is an inconsistency that is not going to be solved today. Enoli, I can't. My vision sucks. Enoli City. Enoli.
Usti or Usti, I don't know.
With a tooth. Lauren, you have to be awake in 6 hours. Oh, I have no sympathy. I've been going off of 4 hours of sleep for like 30 years now.
Me too, and I'm only 32.
Sleep is for those who don't dare to dream. I don't know, man. I was going to make a point. Sleep is for when you're dead. That's what sleep is for.
I love sleep. All right, man.
I just get so little of it, man. There's no sleep.
Joy of my life.
Oh, even when I try to sleep in like past like say 7 a.m., like the girl's like, Daddy, wake up. It's time to get up. And then it's like all the people's elbow, whop, pow, right on the, elbows and knees and
control your children.
Oh, it's everything I could do to not like
talk. Get like an electric fence or something.
I've tried to lock them out of the room thing, but it's not a.
Oh, I'm sure that went well.
It's not a thing to do. They'll fuck with the door. They figured out how to get it open with like a plastic butter knife that they have like from their dollhouse. It's like you guys are too smart for your own good.
My parents had they have an intercom system in their house, so when we were growing up, if they didn't answer me at the door, I was gonna make them wish they had never been born with the intercom system. So.
Oh, I could see you doing that. I totally could. Anyway, folks, it's been like an hour and 52 minutes. This was only supposed to be an hour podcast. But Lauren, once again, has come and graced us with
bro, you shut me up for like the first 45.
It was like an additional hour of comedy and good times and laughs. Is only Lauren Knighty could do.
I'm not really sure what we talked about.
You've talked about today's topic for long enough. I'll tell you that. By the way, if for whatever reason you don't know who Lauren Knighty is, go check out her channel, The Court of Random Opinion. I was thinking about this. There's got to be a better word than random.
No, fuck that. I like being random.
The Court of Superior Opinion.
I like being random, bro.
The Court of Ambiguous Opinion.
It's been almost 2 hours of this stream. It's random. No settlement offer. You will accept random.
The court of unadvised opinion. Negative opinion?
That would be maybe more accurate, but I don't like it as much.
Oh, but I like it better than the cesspool thing. That was like something.
Hey, man. That's right behind me on the shirt.
Oh, you definitely got to get a shirt with that one.
It's right there.
Are you selling merch?
Yeah.
Do you have like a store like set up where people could buy stuff?
Yeah, it's Shopify. I just always forget about it.
Oh, I know. I used to have one. I forgot what happened to it. Nobody stopped.
No, it's still there. It's still there.
Really?
Because I looked at it like a month or two ago.
Oh.
And I was like, I want to get something, and then I forgot. Sorry, man.
Dominic
it's still there, though. No, I found it through your Patreon, I think.
Yeah, my Patreon, and then Dominic, he's been running all those things. I haven't looked at the Shopify thing in so long. I know Schnitzelbot. Dominic is he's not been in studio for some time.
Mm-hmm.
He stopped coming in studio because we stopped having in-studio guests.
Why?
Because my current assistant doesn't want to be on camera. So respectfully, like that was cool. And my other one, Melissa, is not working there anymore.
Oh.
So it's just me. And he's like, dude, do I need to be here if it's just you? It's like, I guess not, dick.
I can be your assistant. I charge $45 an hour for assistant job.
Justin's whole job is Dominic's whole job is he's supposed to like produce the show and find content and chop up the long form podcasts and stuff. And so, but no, he's still around. We just got to do another Christmas Day challenge or something. We got to get him on camera is what we got to do.
Yep.
We were talking about doing a baseball stream, but I'm sure if I started a baseball stream, I know you and all the others watching would totally tune in. Totally.
Dude, baseball boring.
I know, but I used to play ball, man. It is a sport that I have a great fondness for.
I'll do it if you guys wear bikinis.
No, but I will wear. We will be wearing tight baseball pants and stuff.
I will not watch unless you wear a bikini.
You know what? I'll make Dominic wear a bikini. He's like, hey, you want a raise?
I accept that.
If we get 20 super chats, then Dominic shall wear a bikini. No, that's I'm not doing it, Lauren. I cannot.
You can and you will, but another time. I'm going to push you beyond your limits.
Thank God. All right, folks. I love you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. We're going to be doing, I got a lot planned. I don't know what it is at the top of my head, but I got stuff. I'm streaming tomorrow at some points.
I'm streaming at 9:15 a.m.
Oh yeah, you got that
7 hours. Yes.
I'm gonna tune in for that, and I'm gonna watch it on your stream, and I'm gonna troll your audience.
Awesome.
That is my goal. Anyway,
all right, I'm going to bed, man.
Yeah, get some rest, and I love you all.